Welcome back, everybody. Cheap-O Spotlight today. Oh yes, you've been waiting for it. You have asked for it. The ANENG SZ20. Here we go. SZ20, one of the newest in the ANENG lineup for 2023. True RMS, 25,000 counteroos. This is gonna be fun.
Powered by ANENG.
Grabbed this from AliExpress. It took about, it was pretty quick really, maybe about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks tops to arrive. That is super duper fast for Ali shipping, I gotta say. Now, it wasn't cheap. This was $54 Canadian and another $15 for shipping. So, yeah, you know, just in the cusp of the cheapo zone, but nonetheless, it is a loaded multimeter. You get not only your good old sturdy box, now there is no signifier of it being an ANENG other than the ANENG SZ20 labels in the front of it. 25,000 counts, they're telling you, but it does come with this really cool case. And cases are great when it comes to multimeters because when you're dropping them or whatnot, hopefully it's in a case so you're not gonna scratch that brand new beautiful beast. Case fairly well padded, getting a user manual and your temperature probes as well as the test leads, which we'll look at in a minute. User manual itself, all in English. Yes, it is all English. Actually really nice quality print papers. Gives you the lowdown on the specs as well as a quick tutorial and a how-to. Nice manual. It does temperature in both Celsius and Fahrenheit, so there is your ANENG test probe. Now these are a little bit better than your average test probe as well, so that'll be interesting to try out. And those ANENG test leads, which fit oh so nice and snug in the back of that ANENG. Very good size. My favorite size, really, like perfect for my shape of hand. They are Cat 2 1000 volts, Cat 3 600 if you put the safety tip on. Nice strain relief here in the back. Now they are not silicone, it's PVC, but it is a good quality at that. Fairly thick as well. So all in all, pretty decent test leads. We'll see how good they perform. Check it out. If a picture was worth 1,000 words, how's that for similarity? Whoa, these things are definitely very similar shapes and bodies. We've got the ZOTEK ZT-980, a manual arranging meter, a beautiful meter. I love this meter. I've been using it almost every day on my bench. Looks identical to the ANENG outwardly. Now, obviously, huge differences, auto ranging, non-auto ranging. But look at, you know, just look at the layout. Even where the select range is, I mean, it's very, very close. So, yeah, even that continuity indicator here at the top, man, oh man, these things look identical. Nice big selector switch on here. Fits me like a glove. You get that beep when you switch ranges, but that being said, really good attention to detail. Hits those ranges with authority. Nice clickety-click, clackety-clack. Oh, I'm loving it. Plus, we've got the dual off on each side of the selector. I'm a big fan of that too. And the rubber boot as well does come off. PVC again here on the outside. It has a really nice tactile feel again. I don't know if you're into the color. This also came in black, so you have a choice in terms of color. But yeah, I think the red's kind of cool. This week's shout out goes to Poland. Dzień dobry. Thanks for watching. Let's take a look at the range selector switch now, starting off at the off position. Microamps, AC-DC. Milliamps, AC-DC. High current amps, AC-DC. Dual temperature in Celsius and Fahrenheit. Frequency and duty cycle. Capacitance up to 100 millifarad. NCV, non-contact voltage. Diode and continuity. Resistance cycle. Millivolts AC-DC, including frequency and duty cycle. Dual display mode, AC and DC. Volts DC, up to 1000 volts. Finally, volts AC, up to 750 volts. Top of the meter, we have our select/rel, followed by the range. On the right-hand side, we have our max min, and finally, the hold and backlight flashlight. Bottom of the meter, we have our 20 amp high current input on the left, milliamps, microamps, On the far right, we have our positive input, capacitance, voltage, resistance, frequency, diode, and continuity temperature. And finally, below that, we have our common or ground. And check out that gorgeous display. Let's put that backlight on, shall we? Definitely easier on the eyes with that backlight. 25,000 counts, true RMS, and that dual display at the top, which can come in really, really handy. Let's just put it beside that ZOTEK ZT-980. And just so you can compare displays now, I think the ZOTEK is definitely has more clarity. Both have that dual screen, but just a little easier on the eyes, the ZOTEK, and they both have the backlight on as well at this point. So, I mean, you be the judge, but yeah, for what it's worth, I think the ZOTEK slightly else worth noting is the when you enable that backlight on the ANENG, you actually are enabling that flashlight. It comes on automatically, so you cannot have one without the other, unlike that ZOTEK, which does not need the flashlight to be enabled when you turn on the backlight. So, yeah, too bad, Mr. ANENG. I don't always want to have a flashlight on, just because I need a backlight. Nice job as well with the color scheme here on that selector. Look at that, very verbose. I mean, not too often the black and white with a back interlay, works, but it really works out. It's very clear, very easy on the eyes. So ANENG did a great job on the selector switch. Okay, we're currently in DC volts. Let's just check out the accuracy on the ANENG. 10 volts is what we want to see. And look at that, 9.997. Now we're looking at the 5.000 and 4.998. Fairly close. Not perfect though. So just shy of 300 milliamps on that GVDA power supply. Coming in at just, about 300 milliamps on the ANENG SZ20. Now, one of the downfalls with the ANENG, again, compared to that ZOTEK, is in your milliamp range, you're only good to 250 milliamps, unlike you have 600 on the ZOTEK. So right now I have that input into the high current amps. If I put it into the milliamp range, we are OL over limit, so I'm gonna have to go back into the high current input. So that's too bad. 600 milliamps would have been very nice to see on the ANENG. And like the ZOTEK, on the ANENG we have that really nice verbose LED illumination or indicator letting us know that we are in current mode, so the input has to be in either the high current or in the low current input jack. So super nice little feature to have. And in high current right now, let's just bring it up to that plus 10 amp mark. And there you go. So we have a nice audible alarm as well once we hit over 10 amps. Bring it back down, and all is good in high current land. Just comparing the bar graphs on the ANENG to the ZOTEK. Once again, I'm going to give it to the ZOTEK. A little more verbose, just seems to be a little more reactive as well. Let's pick a point here, 17.9, 18 volts. And you can see we do have that signifier, the numeric signifier on the ZOTEK. We don't get that with the ANENG. We just get those incremental blocks, but no numerics. We are getting the numerics with the ZOTEK. So your mileage might vary, but I'm liking the ZOTEK just a tad more. I've done this in a while. Quick voltage showdown. ZOTEK 980 against the Klein Tools MM600 against the ANENG SZ20, the star of the show. Obviously, the ZOTEK is the only manual ranging meter of the bunch. I've got it set to the 60 volt setting on the selector. Here we go, sitting at 1.06 volts. And look at that, they are all in agreement. Oh, loving it. Look at that. Look at the resolution now we're getting on that ANENG. 25,000 counts, so we have that extra digit here. 1.0697. Loving it. Loving it. All right, take it up. Here we go. 6.10 volts. 6.102, 103 volts. 6.13 for the ZOTEK, 6.13 for the Klein, and 6.129, oh, so close, for the ANENG. I'll just call that one a draw. 9.29 volts according to the power supply, 9.29 for the ZOTEK, 9.29 for the Klein, 9.28-ish for the ANENG. Oh, so close. Up and away, 16.83 volts, 16.3 for the ZOTEK, 8.3 for the Klein, and 16.827 for the 20. Wow, that ZOTEK is just oh so close, but not quite there. You know what, let's just max it out now. All the way, 31.05 volts, 31.05 spot on for the ZOTEK, spot on for the Klein, and 31.02 for the 20. So look at that. Well, hey, there you go, 25,000 counts. That extra display certainly comes in handy on certain ranges. And yes, it did finish last, the ANENG, but I mean, we're just talking by a couple of counts. It was definitely oh so close. Love it. All right, continuity's next. And I've got not one, but two sound level meters here. Let's average out the decibel rating and we'll come to a number. Here we are, 3, 2, 1, default stock test leads. Pretty powerful, 78 decibels. Default decibel rating in continuity. One thing I wanted to point out as well is that nice visual indicator at the top as well. Always a bonus in continuity, so if you can't hear it for some reason, you can at least see it. That's a booyah. Okie dokie kanoki, here we go. Diode mode. Got that cool new diode LED tester, courtesy of Radio Geek. Thanks again, my man, for sending this in. Wow, what a sweet little piece of tech it is. I love it. Okay, here we are. Starting off with a standard LED, the red LED, and we have that nice forward voltage drop as well as an illuminated diode. Same for the green, the yellow, hey, no problem there. Oh yeah, the unicorn, up and down over the white LED, forward voltage drop and display, as well as the blue. Oh yeah, standard diodes, no worries here. We don't have a nice audible beep in diode mode, but man, it lit them all up and gave us a forward voltage drop as well. 5 out of 5. Output voltage in diode mode, a balmy 3.2 volts. Plenty of juice. Now we're in resistance mode. Got a lab resistor here, 100 ohm, 100 ohm, 100.27. Beauty. Let's try that 0.5 ohm resistor. That can be problematic for some meters. .5 of an ohm. No worries for Mr. ANENG. And let's just see how quick it is to range. I don't see any problems really, but you never know. Sitting at 9 mega ohm right now. If I can just keep my probe in. 1 mega ohm, yeah. 2. Look at the resolution, gotta love it. 3 mega ohm, yes. 4, 5. 9 mega ohm. Yeah, nice and fast. Let's try 1 kilo ohm. No worries. 4 kilo ohm. 6 kilo ohm. 9 kilo ohm. Yeah. And you're for wondering if we have any resistance on those test leads. Test leads as well. About 0.05 of an ohm, 0.04 of an ohm, so very little resistance, although there is a tad. Now, just so you know, the REL feature only works for capacitance. It does not work in resistance mode. One of the cool features about this meter is the fact it's got that dual AC-DC mode. So if you're working on a circuit that has both of those voltages in live time, this will actually differentiate on the fly whether you're looking at an AC or a DC flow. Kind of cool. I like it. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I have any DC in this circuit, but let's just take a peekaboo, see what we got. So 6.4 volts here coming through on that resistor. Let's check out this IC. 6.6 volts, as you can see at the top. So all the AC here is coming in at the top. If we had DC, it would be showing up on the bottom. Another resistor over here, and that's dealing with 6.5 volts AC. So yeah, this is basically just an AC circuit. But that being said, that the fact you have this sort of dual functionality on the fly is, I think, a really cool selling feature. Got my delicious cup of coffee here, along with my thermocouple. You do not need this to have a dual temperature display. It has an ambient sensor on board, so you don't need the thermocouple. Only if you want to test liquids, whatever. Let's just try it. Let's dunk it in my coffee. I hope that's clean. And my coffee is a balmy 113 degrees Fahrenheit, 46 degrees Celsius. Definitely hot. Oh yeah, it's hot. That's good. Thank you. Super quick look at capacitance mode. I just want to see if it's going to make that 100 millifarad, 100,000 microfarad rating that it claims. Here we go. We are in capacitance mode, as you can see. Okay, here we go. It is thinking. Now it's in millifarad mode. Come on, Anning. Yes, 98.99, 97.99 millifarad. Perfecto. And that was fast. Forget, that's 100,000 microfarads, so that was fast. Good stuff. Wow, wow, and wow. Yeah, that is one sweet looking setup. And guess what? Yeah, look at the input protection on one of these meters. Which one do you think is the ZOTEK and which one do you think is the ANENG? No cheating. Well, if you said this is the ANENG, you are correct. Look at that beefed up input protection. Oh man. So there is a stark difference between the ANENG and the ZOTEK. Wow, 1, 2, 3 MOVs on the current side, as well as a PTC over here. And there's actually another one at the top as well. But the rest of the area, spark gap protection, what have you, even the fuse sizes, the way the fuses are laid out, everything is very similar to the ZOTEK. That lone PTC over here is on the voltage side. All the MOVs are on the current side. Excellent soldering. A nice diode clamp over here. This is the spring that makes contact with the battery housing. And speaking of the battery housing, there you go. Unfortunately, we don't have easy fuse access, but we do have a nice brass threaded insert for easy opening and closing. Powered by 3 AA batteries. Yeah, nice and clean. So I gotta say, very, very sweet. By the way, the soldering job for these components, when you take a close-up look, it is excellent. Very little runoff, very clean, and they're all nice and symmetrical, so good job, Anning. The board a bit here. There you go. Main IC over here. This is the DreamTech DTM066. The brains of the unit. Excellent IC. This is the 24C02 EEPROM. Always see these in conjunction with one another. Here is the LCD driver controller. And if we go up to the top a bit, that is all we have for NCV. That's it. That is all. LED flashlight. This thing is heavy. You would not think it just by looking at it, but it is a fairly heavy meter. So yeah, nice attention to detail all around. All right, let's put things back together. Come back with my closing thoughts. Closing thoughts on the ANENG SZ20. Oh yeah, it's a booyah. 25,000 counts. How can you go wrong with that resolution? Extremely well built. This is definitely one of the better ANENGs to come out in a while. Yeah, they've come out with some duds as of late, but this is definitely a great looking meter. If you're in the market for that first cheapo, or maybe you want your 10th, whatever the case may be, put this on your definite short list. Pretty cool features as well, including that AC/DC mode where you can get 2 for the price of 1. Very unusual setting in the world of multimeters. Nice attention to detail on the inside as well as the outside. Excellent input protection, and I gotta say, this is definitely a step in the right direction. Anything bad to say about it? Well, you know, at the end of the day, I didn't find the display as good as it could be. It just seemed a little bit lacking, really prone to glare. It just didn't look as good as some of the other multimeters that have come out as of late. Hey, it's only LCD, but it just was not a great LCD. Also, a bit of a bummer when you enable the backlight, you're also enabling the flashlight, which you can't turn off. Not good for battery usage, and at the end of the day, it just seems like a lazy program design. Still, at the end of the day, this is a solid buy. I wish it was a tad cheaper, but I'm sure the price will come down. The ANENG SZ20 25,000 count gets a solid 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah, good job, ANENG. Oh, you made up for a lot of bad ones. Thanks for watching this review, everybody. To the next one, keep on testing.